So first of all, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk about it. Since I know you, like what? I know you for 6 months already, right?
Yeah, at least 6 months now.
Yeah, at least 6 months. So from what I saw, I mean, your fees are lower than other pools. I mean, I really trust you. So my first question is actually, why are you choosing these coins you're using right now?
Well, we the coins that I have pulls for are chosen in one of two ways. If it's a project that I like and I believe in, I think will do well, or at least has a good idea behind it. I like to make a pull just to support the project, to help out and make sure there's some decentralization. And so why I keep my fees so low, because I'm not really making them for profit, more as to help support the project itself. And the other reason, or the other way the coins are chosen, is if I have miners that request that I make a pool for a certain coin, I'll look into it. And if the network hash rate isn't too high, because it's really hard to get a pool started on a coin that has a very high network hash rate, because most of the miners have already chosen the pool.
Yeah, I get you. Yes, like what happened with Turtle Coin. At
Correct.
one point, I remember Rocksteady was asking people around to change the pool because one pool was getting more than 50% of the hash rate.
Yeah, and that actually happens a lot on. I mean, if you look at even bigger coins like Monero, there's the three top pools, and it's really hard to break in on that network, because
Monero, of
nobody wants to
course.
switch from.
Yeah,
You
Monero,
know,
of course. Yeah.
they get a pool and they just stick with it. But like the past couple of coins I've just recently added were simply miner requests. So if you're one of if you mine on our pools and you hop into the Discord or Telegram, or anywhere you can get in contact with me and request that we make a pool. We'll check into it, and a lot of times we do set a pool up just for or just out of the minor request itself.
Well, it's really good. It's really good actually that you don't. I mean, a lot of them I saw that they put they make a pool for a coin just for the pump and dump actually. So you're doing it like user request, right? Miner request. I remember mining on your pool, and I know it's not on your end. Private Pay or Veronite. Veronite is not dead yet, but I don't really believe in it. Like I believed, let's say 2 months ago.
I feel that Veronat was a pretty big letdown for me. I think it had the chance to be a good coin to actually to get a following behind it, but the developers don't communicate with their community at all.
Yeah,
And
I remember that too. I remember that too. Also, that one of their products was cloud storage, and we already have that. I mean, Shia Coin has petabytes of storage. Stellite has storage too. So I really
yeah,
don't
there are
know.
actually a couple of one of the coins that I'm actually interested in that I it's an Ethereum based coin called Ether One. They have the same thing. They have a file system set up to where they do storage, and I really like the developers over there. But I don't have any Ethereum pools. But I talked to them quite a bit actually, just staying up to date on the project, and I think that one will actually do really well in the long run.
Well, see, we saw a lot of like 20 token scams, ICOs. Like, is the best way today to just be online, to just be active, and even even if you don't have actually a new project or something that will change actually the crypto world, just just to be online and just to talk to the guys. I mean, we were talking about Veronite. I didn't see the dev like from November.
Yeah, and they keep making empty promises is the other problem. Like I guess it was almost a month ago, they said they were going to push new commits to the GitHub of the changes that they're making, and there has been zero activity on the GitHub. And I, you know, I can't say it's a scam because they never got listed on an exchange that had any volume, stringing us along to keep everybody interested. But I don't see anything happening. Uh, I mean, I had to close the pool for two reasons. Is number one, there zero developer communication, and actually the seed nodes all went down, and you couldn't sync your node for it, which you have to as a pool. You have to have your node synced up 100%. And I contacted who were at the time both of the devs, and neither one of them contacted me back. They sent somebody their Discord um, administrator in there to send me a message that they'll try to get in contact with me. But at that point, it was too late for me. I'm not going to keep spending money because all these servers I have, the money's coming out of my pocket. I'm not making anything on them right now. The only money I'm really
Of
making
course,
is through my own personal mining and my trades.
of course.
So if they don't want to support their community, I don't ever see that coin moving beyond where it is
Well,
already, which is dying.
since obviously you understand the thing better than I do. Uh, I mean, why? What is the point? Why would they make a coin, work on it, build a community around it, and just dump it like that? I mean, I don't understand it. For example, the X paid, right? XPP. How much did they make? I mean, if you're not gonna be a millionaire or whatever, why you're gonna dump a coin?
I think a lot of developers are just guys that get interested in it, and they see it's actually really easy to fork a coin and to get one started. But that's only really 5% of all the work that's involved in keeping a coin going. Because if you don't update your code and keep everything moving forward with new updates and new technology being put into it, it's no one's going to stick with that coin. I mean, unless you're Bitcoin, and the forking a coin you can do in 10 minutes, but to actually make something new or better than what's out there, that takes a lot of work. So a lot
Yep.
of developers will fork a coin, planning on eventually making that coin into something their idea, but they end up getting so swamped with the amount of work it is that they just end up dropping out. You see that with a lot of coins. Zarya just recently, one of my pools I had to close was because the developer just gave up. It was so much work on it and he wasn't seeing any payment out of it, I guess, that he just gave up on it and closed the whole project down. And that happens a lot in crypto. You see coins pop up every day. For a while there, we were
Every
getting
day, yes.
20 coins a day, new ones, and then they would die out within a week or a month. It's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of uh, technical expertise to know how to code all of this because it's done in so many different coding languages, C++, and then a lot of guys are moving into Electron now because it's cross-platform. It works on Windows, Linux, Macintosh, and phones. I mean, it's constantly developing, and if you're not able to keep up with it, then it's so much work that there's nobody, unless they're seeing money immediately, very few people keep up with it.
Well, for me, the worst part about all this thing with all the new coins is that they are taking market cap from the actual real coins.
I
I,
agree, and it is. It's money that could have been invested in a better coin, and it also I think it gives cryptocurrencies a bad name
yes,
because somebody has no brand new to it, doesn't have any idea, invests their hard-earned money in this coin, only to have it die out, and they see their investment go away. About the money you made on your trades with somebody losing, which is true. I mean, that works in almost every type of stocks or anything. Somebody lost money for you to make money, but at the same time, the people that are on when you're doing just trades and things like that, if you're not working pump and dump scams, uh, I mean that's just the way that it goes. In the end, everybody makes bad trades. I invested a large amount of money in Dragon Chain, which
Damn.
at the time it was 50 cents a coin. So I thought it's
Well,
cheap. I'll buy $3,000 worth in U.S.
ooh,
dollars, and then had that. Now it's what, 6 cents a coin. So you make some bad trades, but at the same time, I've learned from that and have made better trades. And I make more money than I lose on my trades. But it's there's the big rule of thumb if you're just trading, and the same idea goes for mining. If you're paying all this money for your equipment and the electricity, you need to look at that as an investment, and you should never invest more than you can afford to lose.
okay. Let's keep a bit with the pool. What coin that you have listed on your pool right now would you recommend, like for let's say a home user that only has a desktop, mid or high range GPU? I mean, which is the coin that you would go right now if you only had like a desktop, like me, like end user, home user?
Well, as far as that, a longer term, something that'll make you money, or at least you can make some money on for a long term, uh, everyday type of thing. Xcash right now is still one of my favorite coins. It consistently has been earning more than Monero, mining Monero has, and there's a lot of movement. There's a lot of development being done on it. They
Yep.
have really big plans going
Yeah,
for it.
yeah, I saw it.
It can be very
The dev
exciting.
team, it's yeah, it's really big, and they talk with the guys on Discord. They always active. I mean, I never saw a coin having like um, wallet update once a week or once 2 weeks actually. They made a rebrand like recently in December, November, final November, December, right? They rebrand
Correct.
all the thing is X network now. So yeah, for me it's I would choose X Cash too. Let's talk now about the coin that you're developing. I know it's a little bit of a secret, but just give me some hints on it, or
Well, one of
whatever you
the
feel comfortable of sharing with me and the viewers. Actually,
well, the idea behind the coin, the reason is the other developer involved in it is a musician,
mm-hmm.
and there are some ways that cryptocurrency has been getting involved in the whole music scene and shows and things like that, but it's not being really integrated just for musicians, or even it's not just that type of art. Any type of art can be involved in it, but our main focus is music. Um, and we are looking to eventually, what we would like to do is start a sharing platform to where musicians can put their videos up and actually get paid per view on them, instead of just having to have a million views on YouTube. Understand YouTube, you have to have
Yeah,
a lot of
I
views to
know
start making
AdSense
money
thing.
on it.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, this way, even if it's only, a couple of bucks a day or whatever, as long as they're getting views, they can get paid, but it would be paid out in the venue coin. And once it's listed on an exchange, it can be exchanged for Bitcoin or however they wanted to do it. Also, eventually, what we would like to be involved in is I want to start a payment uh, processor to where you can sell your merchandise for the cryptocurrency that users can mine or buy to buy your merchandise, and ticket sales, and and sync them with radio frequency ID bracelets, RFID,
uh huh.
and that way you could actually you send a set amount, say $100 worth of venue to your bracelet, and then you go to a show, and instead of having to take your wallet with you, you can walk up to the vendors and they scan your bracelet, and that's how you pay. Now that is all further down the road, and because we don't want to just throw out a coin that's
That
got
has
nothing.
no actual use. Yeah.
Right.
Uh,
So we're taking
well,
our time with the development, and before we actually release anything or any big information on it, this video will be the most information that's been released on the coin. yet.
But from what you're telling me, it's really a big project because if you expect that people to upload to your platform, you will also need a lot of space. I don't know if it will only be songs or video clips. If it's video, you're gonna need a lot of storage space.
Yeah, well, what I'd like, and this is, I know it's been done, but one of the ways we're going to help to mitigate that, to make that easier on both us in the beginning, because this way we don't have to have, a huge server rack just to be able to handle it, is to store a lot of that on the blockchain itself. That
Nice.
way it'll be distributed, and we won't have to have huge servers sitting out there. Um, and help that even, we want to make it a hybrid coin to where you can mine it, but we're also going to go for the proof of stake as well. So people, that will help take the load off of everybody in this main nodes of having to
And have a
maintain.
master node, right?
Correct. And that way, it'll help decentralize it so it's spread out all over the world, and anybody can download this video very quickly and be able to watch it. Um, I think in the end, decentralization needs to be applied to the internet more and more anyway, because some countries do not have the infrastructure set up for everybody to have easy access to the internet. If it's decentralized, as long as everybody has a phone there, everybody can use that to connect and be able to watch a video or get content that way. And I think in the end, it'll make for a better world. Not my coin in general, but just decentralization of everything will make a better world for us in the end. At least it'll make information a lot easier to get.
Well, I really like the idea, and since I know you actually, I'm gonna support it. I mean, I don't believe you will have any ICO or because I know you and you're legit. But
Right. When
I'm
there
gonna
is
be
no
one of the
ICO,
first miners.
I
So,
appreciate that. Definitely. We're not definitely not going to do an ICO. If we still are discussing a pre-mine, and the only reason we were talking about a pre-mine at all was for airdrops. But in the end, I think airdrops really only attract pump and dump, so people will just sell them immediately on an exchange. So I don't know that we're even going to do that much. Um, and since there in the beginning, there's not going to be that many miners anyway. Just us mining the coin in the beginning ourselves will take the place of the pre-mine. So I doubt we'll even have that. It'll be just, we release the Genesis block, and everybody who mines gets a chance at getting the same thing that the developers have. Nobody's going to be, the only way to become a whale and with this coin will be to mine it or buy it. There's nobody's going to have a huge pre-mine, or like I said, no ICO for sure. Uh, I think both of those things also kind of give a lot of cryptos a bad name off the start. Um, if you have a pre-mine where the developers are sitting on 50 million coins, everybody's just waiting for them to dump it, and it's like an axe hanging over your head, if you, as an investor, to want to invest in this coin. Uh, so I think it'll do better without either of those things.
well, it's really interesting. It's really interesting, and I can't wait to actually see the coin launch. When do you think it will launch? Like 1 month, or is that really early?
Uh,
Right? It's really fast. 1 month.
well, we are well. We're going to use the Kryptonite version 8 algorithm, because it's one of the most developed, and there's a
Kryptonite
lot of
V8,
use in
right?
it. So yes,
V8, right?
that
Okay.
way, since so many people use it already, uh, we already know what bugs to expect. What security holes there are, things like that. Um, and it's also, uh, there's so many turtle fork coins out there, which is not a bad thing, but there are a ton of them already out there, and that enough that it scares people off from even wanting to start mining them. And there's a lot of inherent problems still with the wallets and things like that. But right now, our main things is what I'm personally working on mostly is the video storage and sharing sites, and the other developer involved in it is working on securing the code on the blockchain and getting that all set up. So I mean, it's going to be a ton of work. There's no doubt about that. It'll keep us very busy, and neither one of us are doing this to make a lot of money or anything like that. It's just number one, it's just something that we are both very interested in, and the next thing is, the the technology is constantly evolving, so we'll be able to learn as much as anything else, and like I said, it's also really interesting, and it gives you better insight into how everything works in the whole crypto space. If that makes sense.
Well, I'm gonna definitely keep up with you and with the project. I want to thank you for actually doing everything by yourself, because you did all the talking. You're making this very easy for me. I just have two more questions, and I will leave you to keep working on it. How will you deal with the identity thing? I mean, even Turtle Coin. You talked about Turtle Coin. The developer still didn't show his face or his real name. Or are you gonna have the developer team on your website, like with their name, with their personal Twitter account, or is gonna be an anonymous developer team?
I personally have no problems with us being public with who we are, because if, once this is released, I'm more than happy to stand behind the product, uh, and it also will, in my opinion, with us being public with everything, it'll make investors feel a lot more secure in actually investing in the coin, which
Yeah.
will help a lot
You
in the
know,
long
I
run.
did that question just for content, because I know for a fact that you stand behind it and you're not into it for dump or for scamming no one. And one more question, for listing. I know it's too early to talk about it. How would you deal with, let's say, let's say, if you get listed on Binance, how would you deal with the listing fee?
Well, the for Binance is going to be way too expensive for us in the beginning. What we were discussing, and for to start off, will be steps, because the listing fee isn't too bad. We only will have to have, in order to stay listed on Stex, you only have to have $1,000 a day of volume, which I think once the coin gets going and the project, everybody can see that the project is actually moving forward. I don't think that would be hard to achieve and to keep. Um,
Well, that's good information for people like peasants like me that don't know actually the real price of listing a coin. So not only you have to pay them, you need to have $1,000 sales. You mean? I mean traffic sales,
Correct. Trading volume
trading volumes.
and
Okay.
which is buys and sells. I mean, as long as
Mm-hmm.
people are buying and selling, and trading the coin back and forth, then you need $1,000 on it. As far as pairings go, we talked about, we may start off with a Litecoin pairing, venue Litecoin trade, and then eventually move it to a Bitcoin once the project gets more well known. But
Yep.
in order to for people to get started in it, if you have a Litecoin pairing, it's pretty cheap to buy in the beginning. Even if you're not buying a whole coin, if you're just buying fractions of a coin, it's a lot cheaper to do it with Litecoin. And it's also, me personally, I enjoy Litecoin as a way to trade right now, because there's not as much congestion on the network. It's much faster for me to send 20 Litecoin to a wallet than it is for me to send, half a Bitcoin, because you send half a Bitcoin
Yeah,
in
yeah,
four
and you
hours
have to wait confirmation, and all of
Exactly.
this is because of the hashing wars from the Bitcoin Cash
It is.
fork. Yeah.
It definitely is, and it's also because so many people use Bitcoin for trades. That the network has so many transactions happening at once that it takes a while for you to get the confirmations. Whereas on Litecoin, not as many people are using it, so it's a lot faster. I mean, I use if for most of the things I buy with crypto, I try if they use Lite or accept Litecoin, that's what I'm sending as opposed to Bitcoin, just because it's so much faster right now. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand if Litecoin had the same amount of transactions, it would be just as slow,
Yep.
but right now it doesn't, and it's for me that's a big plus. It's the same. If they accept Monero, I would rather use Monero. But the same reason, it's fast. It doesn't take as long as Bitcoin, and Monero is just a project that I really support anyway. Uh, they're like the mother of all kryptonite coins, and that's what all the kryptonite coins aspire to be is a Monero type coin. So
Well, I don't know if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But from what I know, Monero was a fork of Bitcoin actually.
that is correct. Yeah, it was a fork off of Bitcoin. Um, and I think they made all the improvements that right now because Monero had and still has a really good development team and a good team behind it. They did everything that Bitcoin should have done.
Yep, like
Um,
there you have the example of a good team and a good project. Look at just the prices. Look at the price of Bitcoin and look at the price of Monero, and you will understand it. Well, since I
Absolutely.
know you have a lot of work, I'm gonna thank you again for taking the time to talk to me, and we can pause this. I'm gonna definitely stick around. I'm gonna be on your Discord. I'm gonna link actually the Discord for your coin, and then in announcements where you can put whenever you feel is ready, whenever you have a wallet ready. I mean, for start, you will have Linux of course. You will have for Windows and Android too.
Yes, that's that. We're going to have all try to cover all platforms for the wallets. The very first one, of course,
No,
we're
but
going to
like
have just the CL.
from the beginning of it, you will have already done for phones for Android.
Yes,
Oh, nice.
that
That's really
way.
nice.
Yeah, well, it just because you notice on a lot of coins roadmap, they will do just the CLL wallets, and then they have their next one's the GUI wallet, and
Yeah,
then
I know,
phone.
I know.
I just would rather have it all done in the beginning and work on purely getting the coin to where it needs to be, rather than having to always work on wallets. If that makes sense. Before before we end everything, I wanted to say thank you for having me on the show and taking the
No
time
problem, man.
to interview.
No
Uh,
problem.
and
Uh,
remind,
since
go ahead.
I remembered another one, just one moment. Is there any chance that I don't know if actually the algorithm can do it? Is there any chance that you will do a mobile miner like Electroneum did, like an
I
app for
think
it?
right now, I don't see that in the works because phones right now. I mean, even on one of the better phones you can get right now, you're still only looking at maybe 100 hashes a second. So, I mean, granted, it would still give you some coins, but it also uses battery up so fast that even right now, I don't think phones are technologically advanced enough to be able to really handle
To mine, yes.
mobile mining. Um, I think, and a lot of, I'll be honest with you, I personally stay away from coins that offer, is that is one of their goals because right now the phones just aren't able to handle it. And with any, you can have a phone mining, yes, but it's not going to make hardly any coins on any network because it's going to hash so slowly. And while everybody's using their GPUs or even CPUs on a computer, they're going to make more of the money and at least more of the coin out of it. And it's always gonna push out the smaller mobile miners and things like that.
Yep,
The
and
other,
in the end it will burn your phone. I mean, I
yes,
remember 1 year ago I was mining on tablets. I was mining digital note, and I was mining digital note on MinerGate. I burned down my tablets. Digital note died. So,
Yep.
lose, lose.
And it, once within a few years, then I think phones will be, able to actually handle mining a little better. Battery usage is always going to be very high on something like that, but I think they'd be better able to handle it, and then maybe we can start looking into it more. But as of right now, we probably will not be looking at mobile mining. And like I said, I want to thank you for having me on the
No,
show.
thank you for taking the time to actually explain and giving me the opportunity to be the first one to get info from your coin.
Well, like you said, you're going to be one of the first miners, so
Yeah, I definitely will.
so definitely don't mind give you the first shot. Besides, we're friends, and so it just works out good for both of us on that. If guys, everybody out there, if you want to mine some kryptonite coins, come check out the pools, and if you ever have any questions, hop on our Discord or Telegram and ask away. We try to help everybody, even if you're not mining on our pools, we can try to help you out. And good luck to everybody out there in the crypto world. Hopefully 2019 will be a nice bullish year for all
Nice
of us.
bullish year, yeah. It's like some Spanish rodeo or something we need in 2019.
I mean, I know we can all use it. My portfolio is not looking anywhere near as good as it did 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Same here, but well, thanks again. Thank you again for being here, and I'm gonna stick on Discord and keep up.
Sounds good.